Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Ghost Trick. On today's episode, we're about to find out something that probably most of you suspected already, but let's hear it straight from the bearded man's mouth himself. Say hi to Detective Jowd again. Sissel, if you hadn't come to my cell tonight, I would be gone by now without ever having known any of this. This is what I deserve. That's what I told myself these past 5 years. But things are different now. Thanks to you, my eyes have finally been opened. Tonight, I've come into contact with a lot of people's lives and gotten involved in their fates. And the only reason I was doing it was to regain my own lost memory. But things are different now. We're connected to each other somehow. I just know it. That's why I need to ask you a few more questions in order to find out the truth about us. So it's become the truth about us instead of the mystery of me. That's a nice change on Sissel's part. Fair enough, fire away. Let's talk about the manipulator. Sissel told me all about it, Detective Jowd. About the manipulator. Yes, and it looks like this manipulator really did a number on the minister, too. Oh, he's still freaking out. Please don't pick on the minister. If he dies again, I'm the one who has to save him. Sissel, do you think that's what happened to me, too? What are you talking about, Lynn? Don't tell me. You were manipulated, too. Yep. There was always a part of me that just couldn't believe it. That image of the one who shot me. But now I see the possibility of a new explanation. I bet a lot of people guessed this when we heard about the minister for the first time, but now we're hearing it straight from Sissel himself. But who is it, and why'd they do it? That contraption was a birthday surprise for Cabanela's mother, wasn't it? That's right. Something's been bothering me about it. I feel like I know that device from somewhere. No surprise there. You lost your life once tonight because of that machine. Right, I knew it. See, Detective Jowd? No, I'm afraid I don't see. I told Detective Jowd about it. Oh, we do get a flashback. Told him about seeing the exact same contraption tonight in a completely different place. Under the superintendent's office at the junkyard. That's very strange indeed. A junkyard on the edge of town? I've never even heard of the place. And what's more, I've never told a single soul about that contraption. You haven't? That old pigeon guy. Who in the world is he? We also know there was a police investigation, considering that Cabanela's house remained exactly as it was. And, last question? Detective Jowd, you must have heard this name before. Temsic. The meteorite that fell in the park 10 years ago. You were there. So you found out about that, did you? I hear that meteorite saved little Lynn's life. That's right. I couldn't do anything to help Lynn that day. But in that case, I don't get it. If it's true, doesn't it mean you didn't steal someone's life away? What are you talking about? Detective Jowd, you told me that 10 years ago, the person who killed the perpetrator in the park was you. What? But it was the meteorite. So Lynn remembers? I wasn't lying. I stole that man's life away, no question about it. It was entirely my fault. I was just about to shoot him. I would have shot him the next instant if the meteorite hadn't come. At that point, I was already a murderer. That's not true. You were trying to save me. Lynn, I'm sorry, but I don't think that's really the truth. Huh? Let's hear some more thoughts about this. On that day 10 years ago, a different incident happened in another place. Another place? Yes, in the police headquarters interrogation room. The worst sort of incident, a suspect who was being questioned escaped. Wow, I didn't know about that. I happened to be there in the detective division, so I joined the chase. Fortunately, or I guess unfortunately, I was able to track him down alone in the park. Hold it right there. I guess he fired a warning shot. I fired him, yep. I wanted to catch him bad. That warning shot made him panic. At the time, I was a young and green detective, brandishing my sense of justice like a sword. Or like a gun. I made him panic and got you involved, Lynn. It was all my fault. Detective Jowd. All I could see was my target. I couldn't even see you. I'm so sorry, Lynn. I wonder where the other guy got the gun from. Maybe he stole it from the cops? So the man who grabbed me died that day. These last 10 years, I've never forgotten his face. And then a few years after that, when my wife Alma died in such a mysterious way, I thought it was fate, my punishment for what I'd done. And why'd he go to get himself executed if he already thought he was punished? See, there's Mino again. I painted pictures in my cell, nothing but portraits of people's faces. All the faces of the many people I'd met in my life and didn't want to forget. And tonight, I finished the last portrait, the final face I wanted to remember. What'll it be? Do you feel the tension in the air? The final face. The face of the man in the park that day. Wait, 1 minute. That can't be. I saw that painting. I saw the face you painted tonight. That looks familiar. Looking pretty sharp there, buddy. It was my face. Are you telling me I was the man in the park that time? That's impossible. That was 10 years ago. That's right. That face of yours is the face I saw 10 years ago. The face of the man whose life I stole, the man who was pronounced dead at the scene. I guess this explains why Jowd wanted to know what our true face was. But hold on, Detective Jowd, that can't be true. I just met Sissel for the first time tonight. And he died right in front of me. We did see ourselves alive on the camera. By the way, the name that I know the man in the park that day by isn't Sissel. What? From the first minute I laid eyes on you tonight, I've been wondering, who in the world is this guy? Uh-oh. Mr. Minister? Inspector Cabanela, where are you? Just be quiet and listen. This is our demands. What? Demand? Our demand hasn't changed. The execution must be tonight. Once we've confirmed it's been carried out, we'll release the hostage. What are you talking about, Cabanela? And you know it wasn't my daughter who was abducted. Does it really matter who the hostage is? A life is a life, even if it's the daughter of a death row prisoner. Once the criminal gets the punishment he deserves, the hostage will go free. Carry out the execution immediately and wait for our call. So Cabanela was in cahoots with the kidnappers? That's pretty suspicious. What is it, Mr. Minister? You look paler than ever. What in the world? What's going on? Cabanela! The medicine's right there. Take it at your leisure. The rock of the gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago twisted the fates of many people and started a chain of tragic events. And now, even now, the chain continues to grow ever longer. Inspector Cabanela's call proved that to us. And the greatest mystery of all has risen to the surface. Who is this me I've been chasing all night? Who am I? I'm even further from knowing that when I started. Chapter 15. About 3 o'clock in the morning, we're running low on time. 10 years ago, a man named Sissel took a little girl named Lynn hostage and then was killed by a meteorite fragment. Well, actually, we know he wasn't named Sissel at all, according to Jowd. Tonight, a man named Sissel met a detective named Lynn at a junkyard on the edge of town and then was killed by a bullet. But the scene I find waiting for me at the other end of the phone line feels like the final nail in the coffin of my lost memory. Hey, we know that guy. Look, wait a minute. I see myself. There you are, Commander Sith. Finally. Sith? Really? That's the guy's last name? Dr. Evil, I guess, wasn't obvious enough. Sissel, where have you been, my good man? We've been looking everywhere for you. Had a little unfinished business to take care of. Didn't think it would take this long. What about your people? They sure went out of their way to mess me up. I say, I believe we fulfilled every one of your conditions in our little deal. What right do you have to complain about anything outside our bargain? We can talk about that when we get together. This will be our last communication by telephone. We'll arrive in 1 hour. I look forward to seeing you, Sissel. Dawn is approaching. The darkness surrounding my own mystery is deep, but I know it's always darkest before the dawn. Should be pretty dark for Sissel after the dawn, or rather, our Sissel, Sissel Alpha. Yes, we're nearing the final stages of our little deal, my good man. Yes, sir, all preparations are complete, sir, and we just had a report, sir. Lights have been spotted, sir. Have they now? By all means, let me take a look. Smack that thing. Oh, yeah. Periscope up. Or not. Viewfinder? Checking out that guy's outfit. Yes, we're very close. We will now disconnect from the communication cable and have no service until we arrive, sir. Very well. Bam! Periscope down. Fruit back. And check this out. We're finally going to find out where these people have been this whole time. And they are on a submarine. That luxurious little salon really stands out in comparison to the rest of this place. And off they go. Not really a mystery, but certainly interesting. Now back to us. Nice try, Inspector Cabanela, but you could never stop me. So Cabanela's dead? See you, sucker. I guess he wasn't working with the kidnappers all along. Was he being manipulated? Also, I have no idea about Sissel Beta. So here we are. What do we do? Let's say hi to Cabanela. I guess he's the only one we haven't really spoken to ghost-wise. Hey, do you think he could wake up for me? We have time. Oh boy, still unconscious, huh? I guess he hasn't been dead for very long then. I'll just go ahead and go back to 4 minutes before his death. I'm a little nervous about what I might see there, though. But if that's where we're going to find my answers, I can't run away from it. Well, to be fair, I think we already had the big bomb dropped on us. It's 4 minutes before death. About 5 minutes before the start of the chapter. Once the criminal gets the punishment he deserves, the hostage will go free. Carry out the execution immediately. Okay, we're going back over Cabanela's call to the Justice Minister. That's a good boy. Gee, a hostage sure is a handy thing. It gives me complete control over the top police inspector in the country. He's not looking so good. Yeah, what's the matter? All those broken bones smart a bit? What's it like to feel pain? Does it make you feel alive? Why are you doing this? Now, is that any kind of question for a top inspector to ask? Isn't it obvious? Revenge, of course. Revenge on all the people who stole my life away 10 years ago. It's clearly alive. Don't be ridiculous. It was a meteorite that stole your life, or have you forgotten that? It seems unlikely. Oh, wow. Wrong. I was murdered by all of you. He's doing pretty well compared to us for a murdered guy. Also, it's pretty awesome. Detective Jowd, who chased me down and forced me into a corner even though I was innocent. Lynn, that girl who was right there when I was running. Lynn, she was just an innocent little girl playing in the park. If that brat hadn't been there, I never would have thought of taking a hostage. That's some severe projection there. It's the most self-centered garbage I've ever heard. And finally you, Cabanela. Me? If you hadn't done what you did, I never would have pointed a gun at that kid. Did Cabanela give him the gun? You were so proud of your spotless record, and my case was the one blot on it, wasn't it? Only 2 people know the real truth, me and Jowd. And I guess Cabanela too, so 3 people? I bet tonight's execution will be quite a relief to you, won't it? One of the people who know about the stain in your record will disappear for good. That's why you didn't help him escape from prison. Wow, we're a jerk. That's the kind of guy you are. He's really in no position to argue right now. I got nothing to say to you, you never listen anyway. Problem solved. That was pretty anticlimactic. That's new. Ye gods, I'll say. Now then, Inspector, time to make a big red stain in your spotless white coat. Hey, check that out. We can do that. The lamps betrayed us. This was another condition of my deal, to wipe out everybody who knew about Tensik. Bam! 2 shots, 1 death. I guess Sissel Beta violates the instant death bullet sort of rule of this video game. Revenge? That's what I'm up to? None of this makes any sense. Hey man. Oh, sweet. Mind telling me what's going on? Inspector Cabanela, he's awake. I bet he's a lot more fun than some of the previous people we had to deal with during a death sequence. My head is spinning, baby. Am I to understand that Cabanela character who just got shot is me? That's right. And you're supposed to be the scoundrel there who just shot me? I guess so. But you couldn't be, could you? Huh? After all, the guy in the red suit just walked out the door, right? So, who are you? I guess I just have to face it. I'm not that Sissel guy. I'm somebody who's searching for himself. That's why I'm here to save you. At the very least, you have information about that guy in red. Information I need. So you came on a rescue mission now, did you? Nothing like the sound of that, baby. Because there's a very important life here somewhere, a life valuable to this nation. Okay, so do your thing, baby. Well, we already knew it was pretty egotistical. Alright, this is a pretty long and involved puzzle, and it actually involves a double jump that we get to make. So I'm going to get involved and start it on the next episode of Let's Play Ghost Trick. Let's see what these people have to say. Then it's a good boy idea. Okay. This is his usual dialogue. Not particularly interesting. And our hint. So you're a manipulator too? I have ghost tricks, powers of the dead, yeah, but I can't control living creatures. Anywho, I think you'd better be very careful. That guy in red is a manipulator. Naturally, he knows about powers like yours. Is this going to be new? People might actually care what we do right in front of them? That's pretty new. So, you're right, I better be careful. So we've got someone in front of us who apparently, oh yeah, check it out, he's glowing just like he was before. Is that something emanating from his body? Is it really the sign of having special powers of the dead? I'd say so. So this guy's new. Apparently our corpse has been taken over by this manipulator guy. And we've got several new mysteries to solve. We'll make some headway into this and hopefully save Cabanela's life in the next episode of Let's Play Ghost Trick. See you tomorrow.